Yo, what up, hey, how you doing, guys? My name is Sangiev. Today we're back with another video where I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite jackets. If you can tell by the title already, it is my vintage Shearling jacket. Now, I know that not everyone has access to a vintage store, so I've got three different alternatives. Two of them are high street, one of them is a high end, and it's kind of going to be like an affordable alternatives video, but I'm going to talk a bit more with regards to the style of the jacket. The Shearling jacket is a garment that has been worn through the time, through the ages. It was obviously made popular / the shape that we have now is definitely derived from the military or the aviators. World War I think they started experiment. Well, they definitely had sheepskin. World War II is where the design came from. So the Shearling jacket as we know today, there's two types. You either have the longer sort of coat, which has been made popular by the likes of Harry Styles, Bane from Batman. Genuinely a lot of people were after the jacket after it was worn during the movie, and whoever else. And then you've got the sort of jacket which is a bit more cropped in the body, more again aviator-esque, and definitely more military inspired. Kanye also wore one. Tom Hardy has this sick one which I believe he got from the set of Dark Knight. I could be wrong. So with all of that being said and done, we've got option number one from a high street Top Man banging jacket. This is their faux camel suede jacket. Pretty much everything about this is fake, so for all animal cruelty and all that jazz, you should be all good. This is from Top Man. This is the cheapest out of the bunch. It retails at 90. For sizing purposes, I went with a size large. Top Man, I can do medium, but large just fits slightly more boxy. And for this jacket, I wanted a boxy cut because it has been cut in a rather vintage manner. Very 70s-esque, and the color is just so rich. It pairs really nicely with the tan of the Shearling. We've got two pockets at either side, 3-button fastening, Shearling detail on the sleeve, Shearling detail on the collar, and in the back, fairly simple. It's got this sort of worn-in look to the fake suede. In terms of styling this, you can genuinely wear them with. This is why I love Shearling jackets. They're my throw-on jackets that you can wear with anything. Now, for the sake of the video, I'm going to keep the styling fairly minimal. Just a white t-shirt, black jeans, black boots that I'm going to wear throughout for all of the jackets. That way you can make the decision for yourself as to whether you want to spend big buck or whether you're happy to go high street. This is Top Man, the cheapest out of the bunch, and genuinely, it's sick. Like, I can't say anything wrong about it. For numéro 2, we have an option from everybody's beloved Zara. This guy is just incredible, man. So first of all, let's talk about prices. £120, which makes this £30 more expensive than Top Man. If you can justify that, great. If not, genuinely, Top Man, solid option. Size, Zara fits extremely small, at least that's how I feel. So I go for a size large in Zara, and it fits me perfectly. Double-breasted, longer in the body than the previous design, and just, again, so buff. The color is almost identical to the Top Man. Feels somewhat, okay, it feels different, but it looks very similar. Top Man one has more of a vintage feel to it, with the crackles and with the cracks and stuff like that. This one looks clean, double-breasted, which is just such a sick detail, man. I love, especially when the coats are longer, double-breasted just makes it look so much better. And disgustingly soft Shearling. Like, the inside is ridiculously soft. I would even go as far to say that this is the softest out of all of the jackets that we have here today. So if you want to like something soft, something long and very classic in looks, Zara is the one. 2 pockets at either side. You also have a little fastening here if you wish to close this up and keep more heat, or wear it with a scarf or whatever you may do. Okay, number 3 is finally the one that's in my personal collection. This is a vintage Shearling jacket, and as you can see by the cut in comparison to the 2 previous one, it's cut a lot shorter, very military inspired. This was actually from, well, I don't know whether it was from the World War II and if someone had worn it, but it was made and built during that era. If you've watched my previous video, I got this from a vintage collector in Paris who specializes in World War II memorabilia / garments, and so this was an absolutely beautiful find. Vintage is my 3rd option, and for me, I'd even go as far to say that the best option, because they are meant to be super big, they're super bulky, like the one Tom Hardy has, it just looks massive, but it'll keep him so warm. This keeps me insanely warm. It is very heavy to wear. It's super well insulated. It's just Shearling all over, sleeves, body, keeps you incredibly warm. This is a size large. In terms of pricing with regards to the high street, it's only slightly bit more expensive. With vintage, you can get extremely lucky and find a jacket like this for 50 to 100 quid if you get very, very lucky. But if you go to like an actual curated vintage store such as Blitz or this guy, then you'll be looking to spend a bit more. It's slightly higher than high street, but I think you get more bang for your buck. This is going to last you a very long time. Obviously the material is different. This is more of a leather, and as you can see, it's gone through a lot of beating. It truly adds character to the piece. I know I say that very often, but I genuinely mean it. This is where I felt like I could have included a different jacket. Well, not a different jacket, but another jacket. So I'm going to make the leap from vintage to high end. And I feel like there's a middle ground that could be covered by the likes of Reese, All Saints, potentially Acne Studios, because Acne Studios for me do one of the best Shearling leather jacket. Quite pricey, not as pricey as the one I'm about to show you next, so it's definitely like an in-between. And if you've got the money to splash, Acne Studios is the way to go forward. I will be sure to leave the links to all the items mentioned in the description box down below. Obviously for this guy, you won't be able to find the exact same, but I'll try and find some alternatives to this. And then last but certainly not the least, we have the granddaddy of them all. The granddaddy? I don't know. Fuck. Saint Laurent Shearling jacket. I cannot remember what season this was from. Don't quote me on it. I want to say fall winter 14, potentially 13, but I'm doubtful. This was purchased from Bicester. This isn't mine. This is James's. Everybody knows that kid's got money, so he was the one that was going to splash on this piece. I think we ended up getting it from Bicester for a very, very sweet price. I think they did a day where they were doing 30% off for like a selected clientele. And the guy called us and was like, yo, come pick it up because you're not going to get it for a better price. This originally retailed for £4,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, it's an incredible jacket, but definitely not worth that price tag, at least in my personal opinion. I think he ended up paying nearly less than half of it, basically, for this jacket. And man, what a thing of beauty it is. So first of all, this is a size 52, which equates to a size extra large. You've got the Saint Laurent tag there, the chain which has come off because James is an idiot and he hung this piece using this chain. Like, what a fucking noob. 3-button, the suede is obviously going to be the best out of all of the ones that we felt today. Insanely soft. The Shearling, on the other hand, not necessarily the softest. Obviously it's real Shearling, much like the vintage jacket, as opposed to the other two from the high street. But if I was to be truly honest with you, in terms of the softest, Zara takes the cream. Zara takes the lead. In terms of what will actually keep you the warmest, I would say the vintage does a better job, just because of how much thickness there is in the vintage piece, as opposed to this is it's fairly thin because of the way that the jacket is cut and the way that the jacket is made. It fits an entirely different purpose. Do you know what I mean? This is definitely fashion driven as opposed to a vintage piece which is more function driven. Color is just incredible as well. I believe this is one of the Grails Shearling jackets from Saint Laurent that Harry Styles has, and so here we have it. 4th option, disgusting price tag of original retail £4,000. It went down in the sale for 2k, and now on the resale market it's like 4 to 6k. That could be in dollars though, but disgusting price tag. So there we have it, man. 4 different options, 2 high street, 1 vintage, 1 high-end. Shearling jackets are just such a sick cult, man. They're a good investment, quite limited in the sense that you will only be able to wear them during the fall winter, but that's more than enough. Like, I can chuck my vintage one over a t-shirt and I'm genuinely good to go. If it's like really cold, I'll chuck on a turtleneck or like my JW Anderson black zip up, which will make it look sick. But that pretty much is it for this video. Let me know which one you would choose. I mean, various price points, so it depends on what you want to go for. As I said, I'll be sure to leave the links to everything mentioned today in the description box down below, as well as adding some extra ones from the likes of Acne, which I couldn't get my hands on, but what a thing of beauty. All Saints, Reese, they do some really great seasonal offerings. I'm going to conclude this video right here. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. This ain't some fucking show. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you wish to follow me on my social media, it's all right here. Snupps, Twitter, Instagram, Sangiev. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Take care. Peace.